And for one final time, welcome to my breaking news coverage of the 2024 edition of the Farnborough Air Show, where Abra Group, home to Avianca Airlines and GOL, and even a stake in Wamos Air, has announced plans to expand its aircraft portfolio. At the end of the Farnborough Air Show, the group signed an MOU with Airbus for 5 A350-900s with the view of boosting future flying right across the group. However, the end destination of these 5 aircraft were not publicly disclosed, as the deal is still obviously in the early stages, given that it is yet to be made firm by the company. CH Aviation reports that a spokesperson for Abra Group said that also we have tentative delivery dates included in the purchase, but in a similar fashion to the end destination, this has also not been publicly disclosed. The new deal aligns with the group's comprehensive strategic plan for growth, which includes launching new routes and increasing therefore passenger numbers per annum. The CEO of Abra Group stated that they were delighted with the purchase and believe that utilising the Airbus A350s for future flying will actually provide them with the best in-class passenger experience. This is something that almost every single group or relative airline will mention when purchasing an aircraft. Very standard PR talk there. But more importantly, it is going to offer them lower cost per seat than competitor aircraft, and extending that even further to competitor airlines in what is a highly competitive space. All these associated benefits are set to improve, therefore, expenses across the group and further align with sustainability goals that have not just been outlined internally here in this business, but many others around the world, and why we're seeing so many look towards more next-gen types. Onlookers, well, they've begun deliberating where these 5 A350s will head once they are firmed up. The deliberation really stems from the fleet strategies that are present at the relative airlines that call this group home. Avianca, for instance, well, they fly a fleet of Boeing 787 Dreamliners only for their wide-body operations, whereas GOL doesn't have a single wide-body aircraft in its fleet currently. As a result, this only leaves Wamos, who flies the A330 series, but it's important to also realize that they specialize in charter operations rather than scheduled flights. So some people have their opinions that it wouldn't make sense to send the A350 to Avianca. GOL probably wouldn't look to expand, maybe to Wamos. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. But again, further clarification on the end destinations for these units will come over time. Between now and then, the questions are going to continue to be raised about the long-term strategy within the group. As for Airbus's success in the region, this is something I thought I would conclude on, as they highlighted it in their press release, saying that in Latin America and the Caribbean, they've seen sales exceed 1,300 units, and now the backlog is close to 500. But I'd argue one of the more telltale figures is that when looking at all available aircraft orders that have been placed since 1994, around 75% of them have been won over by Airbus. That's a colossal win for the plane maker. And that'll conclude order news that I'd imagine on the Farnborough Air Show. Thanks a lot for tuning in this week. It is always one of the most exciting weeks, and I do love how our industry is painted in a positive light, so I appreciate you coming along for the ride. Take care, be safe, and while I will say I'll see you next time for the latest industry news, I'll see you next year for the next major air show as well. Until then, I'm going to be getting some rest, and no doubt be back shortly with your latest industry recap.
And we'll fly.